Hi, I'm Simone and I'm a finalist in the Mrs. Africa UK pageant. As part of my journey, I am involved with the charity, and I've gotten involved with Got Your Back Naomi, which is helping a young girl, Naomi Grace, that I've known from how long? From eight. She was 18 months old when I landed in the UK, and was one of the first people that I met and that welcomed me here. And young Naomi is on a journey of her own. And today I'm going to speak to her mum, Lorraine, who's in Northern Ireland, and I'm here in Scotland. And we're just going to have a wee chat about what's going on with Naomi, what her journey has been, and why is it that we started this charity crowdfunding for young Naomi, who has scoliosis. So Lorraine, thank you for joining me. You got your cuppa?
I have, thank you very much.
You were one of the first people to welcome me into the UK and make me feel at home. And I've just really enjoyed being part of Naomi's life. I think I was the first non-family member she slept over at.
Mm-hmm. You were privileged.
Yes. And she's just been a real joy to watch growing up. But something happened a wee while ago in 2019. Yeah. Yeah. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, no problem. We basically saved up to go on holiday to Tenerife, and that was quite a big deal for us. And so we booked a holiday that you went to the water park, which was wonderful. But it was on that holiday that I discovered Naomi's back wasn't just as it was meant to be. And you know, your kids get in and out the shower and the bath, and you know they're blooming, and she's a teenager, and it wasn't really, it's not that I didn't see her that much, but I just didn't really pay that much attention. And so on this holiday, Naomi asked me and had to apply the sun cream to her back because she discovered bikinis and teenage girls, well, that's another own story in itself. But so she discovered bikinis and she wanted this sun cream on, and when I was applying sun cream, I noticed her back wasn't in alignment. So she would and her hips weren't sitting right. So the hips are meant to sit like that. Her hips were sitting just like that. So I had a friend who years ago had problems with her hips. So I thought maybe it's just hip problems. So when we got back to the UK in September, when she started secondary school, we basically then went to the doctor about it. And the doctor said, it's not right, send you to physio to have a check it over. So we went to the physio, and in October, November of 2019, the physio sat us down and said, no, her back isn't right, the hips aren't right. We need to refer you to Musgrave Hospital in Belfast. So she said, I think it might be scoliosis, but I can't be sure. You need to actually find out from the consultants. So that was October, November. We got referred and we heard nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, so we plodded on, and Naomi started getting stomach pains. And these would happen every now and again. She'd get a really sore stomach. And we didn't think much of it. We're just painkillers and different things. But in July last year, 2000, in the middle of COVID, wonderful things that were happening in the pandemic, Naomi took acute pain in her stomach. And we thought maybe, me and my parents thought, or maybe it's appendicitis or something, you know, around that area of the body. So we then basically, she was in such pain, I ended up taking her to the Royal Hospital in Belfast where she was born. And basically they x-rayed her and examined her and sat us down and said, it's scoliosis. And what's happening is basically the stomach muscles are going one way and the back muscles are going the other way. And that pull is what's giving her the acute pain. So they said, we'll refer her again to Musgrave. But it can take 6 months to a year to just be seen for the consultation.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was quite tough because here was Naomi presenting with pain, abdominal and stomach pain, back pain, and they said it can be 6 months to a year. So thankfully, I have very good support around me, and we discussed it. I discussed it with my family, and we decided that we would go private and just see what the consultant said, what he advised, what would be the best avenue to go down. Because this is all new territory, like, you know. So, excuse me, we then managed to get a consultant's appointment in August of last year. Lovely consultant at the Ulster in Belfast. And he confirmed, yes, it is scoliosis. And yes, that is what the pain is causing her. And through the history, because Naomi's unfortunately is from her biological father's family have back problems and have had history of scoliosis and back problems. So it's not idiopathic. Hers is from the DNA. And this compound with Naomi's ADHD and her autism is a beautiful package that she's dealing with daily. She amazes me.
Yeah. Naomi has ADHD and autism, and so I'm sure when she was initially talking about pain, you were first thinking it was something to do with that, with anxiety and things along that way. But because of the curvature in her spine that you had felt and seen, then you thought, no, this is a bit more serious.
Yeah. And I actually feel really bad, because when I actually took her to the hospital in the July, it was like, she's 40% curved. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, because I thought, oh, you know, like when she said she's got a scoliosis, I was like, right, okay. And then when she showed me, like she said, this is how much of the curvature, I was like, okay. You know, and it is hard because Naomi presents pain differently. She can have a knock and it be, you know, a cut in her leg, and it can be really sore. And she's like, that's fine. But then there are other things that can activate her, and she'd be like, oh, that's absolute agony. So when Naomi tells me she's in pain, I'm like, okay, she's in pain, because it takes a lot for her to actually recognize this is actually sore on me, you know. So that's the way she works.
Yeah. On it. So you got the private consultant, you pay, your family helped you, and you've paid for that, got that result. What happened next?
They're wonderful. Like I can't thank the NHS enough. They're absolutely brilliant. They basically, this doctor works at the Musgrave and at the Ulster. So he then said he would put me down for Musgrave, basically, to see about a back brace. So a back brace is like, it basically, it halts the bend and helps to sort of, in some children it helps to straighten, in some children it just keeps it where it's at. Each child is unique. So with Naomi, basically we got referred in, so we had to wait for that, and then we went and saw the gentleman, and he was lovely. He measured us, and then we I was very good, and I recommend this to any parent. Say that you're available for cancellations. I was very up for, if there's any cancellations, whether it be 9 o'clock that morning or 7 o'clock at night, any cancellations, we're up for it. So then we got a cancellation in December, early December, and Naomi got fitted for her back brace. Now, the back brace is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing thing. It's a unique thing. It's tailored to each child, and this is not cheap. It's an equipment, basically. For Naomi's case, it fitted. She tried to wear it. Now, the aim is to wear it 23 hours a day. So 1 hour off for basically self-care. So we tried wearing it, and each time you wear it, increase the hours. So we tried it overnight. That was an utter disaster. We tried it 2 or 3 times overnight. Did not work. She woke up in so much pain, and it was agony, and it was just uncomfortable, and just didn't work. So then we were wearing it during the day. Now, as you will understand, Naomi is a growing lass, and as she's maturing and the body's maturing, she's actually outgrowing it. So at this moment in time, there are parts of it that do not fit as comfortably as when she first got it. So that's making it harder for her to wear. So in January there, we were sent back up for an x-ray to see if her back had progressed from July to January. Now, the consultant was able to tell me, that her back hasn't deteriorated, but it hasn't improved. And one of the things that we discussed at the first consultation was operation. And Naomi has said all along, yes, she would like an operation because she's in pain. She feels it. She's pulling to the side. She knows it's awkward and it's difficult. Mm-hmm. And when she tries on things, it's not sitting right. So when we went again and we asked about this last x-ray, the consultant said, yes, I think the operation is needed. I can see her back is not improving. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment in time.
Yeah. And what's the hope with the operation? Because I think I understand the back brace is not going to help, but it is not helping it improve. She's been to physio, so they've tried the exercise. They've tried all the sort of the alternative ways for it. So obviously, because it's genetic, because she's growing, I think this is sometimes worse in teen girls than it is in boys. So it just develops faster, and the curvature actually gets worse. From the little reading I've been doing in Northern Ireland, they say the teen girls end up missing out on school because of the pain that they're in. Yeah. So not only are they in constant pain, it affects their self-esteem and it affects their ability to learn. And they're really on top of the challenges of having autism and ADHD. This is a third layer on top of Naomi to help her cope at this stage in her life. So I personally can see the importance of giving her the best possible chance to be part of the community and because she's got so much to offer. She's a wonderful little artist, in there, and I know she's got so much to give. So, but operations is a big thing.
Unfortunately, in Northern Ireland, a wonderful, wonderful place. I love it here. Northern Ireland only do the back fusion, and the back fusion literally makes you stay in one position, whether it be like that or like that or like that. Either, any fusion basically means you stay at one point, that they fuse the spine together. What Naomi needs is, it's called back tethering. So it's like basically they put in, if you can imagine elastic bands, it sounds awful, doesn't it? But they put in elastic bands and they basically grow with Naomi and strengthen and straighten her back out. So it was there, then grows and strengthens and straightens it. And what happens is, if you get them, this is why we're pushing for it when Naomi's young, she's 13, because the younger and earlier you get in there and have the operation, they call it growth potential. She has the much more growth potential to grow up and have a back that is healthy like everybody else. And one of the things that I see, and if you look it up, is this is also an operation so that Naomi doesn't come back in 10, 15, 30 years time with muscle ache, with arthritis, with nerve ending damage, with pain issues. Because what happens is with scoliosis, if it goes untreated, and numerous people would testify to this, it causes back problems and pain and nerve ending damage and arthritis conditions. And that basically is not what I want for Naomi. I don't want her to come back and say, oh, Mum, I wish you'd operated then because my back's killing me now. To me, this is also, it's fixing her back, but it's also being preventative so that later on she doesn't have the nerve ending damage and the other complications that are associated with scoliosis.
Yes, as far as I can tell, you could even end up in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And with her curvature really being so, at 13 being so far, it's only going to get worse. And so it's better to correct it before it gets even worse. And I see that the recommendation is from a 40% curvature is when this is when operation is normally recommended in there. But then I guess the big question then is, I can understand it's not done in the UK. I mean, it's not done in Northern Ireland. It's done privately elsewhere. Why Turkey?
Okay, it's not a problem. Someone asked me this today. I done a lot of research when you become a mastermind, folks. Honestly, it's amazing. But we've done a lot of research. We looked at America, we looked at UK, we looked at Germany, we looked at Turkey. And one of the reasons why America was 160 upwards, it's phenomenal prices in America. And it's lovely, but then it's the travel, it's the location, it's everything else on top. So then we looked at UK, and the UK does offer it within its private clinics and different facilities, but it's 110. Wow. And that's a lot of money. And to me, it's if there's a cheaper option, I'm looking for it. So then we looked at Germany and we looked at Turkey. And one of the reasons we went for Turkey is because Turkey, outside of the USA, is the other country that's actually practiced this tethering operation successfully. And it has a very good record of actually being able to do the operation, and people have a decent quality of life afterwards. Because it's okay just to, all of this is a journey for us. So we're doing this journey, but when we get to the end of the journey as such in fundraising, we have a 10 to 15 hour operation at the end of it. So to me, it was like, I needed to make sure it had the best surgeons, they had the best clinical practice, best record of people recovering, best clinical and hygienic surroundings. And we found that in Turkey, and we found it within a budget that we could live within. I know it's a lot of money, people, and I don't ask naively. It's a big undertaking, but if everybody gave a little bit, this cake will be amazing. And if we can all pull together and get this done, it will work out. And Turkey's only a couple of hours away on the aeroplane. It is within our remit. Naomi loves Turkey. She's slightly biased because she loves sunshine. But we wanted somewhere that she would feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, this is her operation. So that was really the pulling factor for Turkey.
And it does have a history with working with young children from Northern Ireland as well. So there is that track record there that's available and that you know of. So I know you've done a lot of research. You've had to cope with so much on this, and we're not yet halfway there. But we are 100% behind you, and 100% supporting you, that you are doing the best thing for your child. And it's not just your child, but she's our child. I'm from South Africa, and we have a saying Ubuntu, that I'm a person because you are a person. So when you are in pain, I'm in pain, and helping you is helping me.
Thank you. Oh, you have me in tears in a minute. Thanks. Oh, thank you.
So thank you for sharing with us what happened, what has brought you to where you're at, and for keeping us updated on what's happening in there. And if anyone has any questions, they can just send a message to our page. We have a Facebook page and a number of events going, and you're welcome to send messages and ask questions on that. I also know if you want to go to Megan's Wish, which is a charity that started to help children in Northern Ireland with scoliosis, you can see other stories of people that have been on a similar journey to Naomi, and we've seen the miracle that's happened, and the beauty of seeing the recovery from the operation and seeing someone walk and be able to attend school again without pain. And that's the wish that we have for Naomi, that she too can have this experience and growth. So together we are going to say, we've got your back. We've got your back, we've got Naomi's back.
Thank you. Do you know, I just want to say I have been down the path of NHS and I've tried every door and they've all turned around and said no. And I think that's important for some people to know, because this is not something that we decided to do lightly. It's been considered, it's been prayed about, it's been researched. And do you know what? If the NHS could do it, we wouldn't be here. That's the God's honest truth. They cannot, so then we are here. But I really thank you so much for having Naomi's back and having my support. It means the world to us. Thank you, more than words. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.